All right. I'm J-Rod and welcome to Stocks That Rock. Each week I highlight a breakout stock or crypto that will rock your retirement account. Today, we're going to talk about the most important driver of market action in 2022, interest rates. You'll recall that I posted a video recently showing you how each S&P 500 sector performs during rate hiking cycles since 1993. Since that video went live, my email inbox has been flooded with even more questions from you about how to survive interest rate hikes. Well, I've been off the air for a few weeks now working on the definitive answer to this burning question of yours. I went to the archives of the Federal Reserve and examined every single interest rate policy change since 1915. We're talking about tens of thousands of pages worth of documents. And using 70 years of S&P 500 price data, I created a stock market model that I call the Stock Survival Guide for Rate Hikes. It shows exactly how the broad stock market performs in every rate hike cycle since 1930. Today, I'm going to reveal the survival guide to you for the first time. Frankly, I'm stunned my publisher is letting me give this away for free. But using this model, I'll show you why stocks can survive interest rate hikes and why now is the time in the rate cycle to buy stocks, not sell them. Before we get into the model, here's a little breakdown on my stock market study. Before the 1990s, the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee, or FOMC, or Fed for short, did not change interest rate policy at the same time as the announcement of a change. And each regional Federal Reserve bank in the system offered different rates. So for rate hike dates, I used the effective date of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York's rate hikes as the interest rate series from 1930 to 1993. The New York Fed, being right on Wall Street, is the largest and most powerful bank in the system. From 1993 onward, I used the federal funds rate and policy actions, which the Fed announced and changed at the same time from that point on. And finally, I excluded the mid-hike cycle rate cuts to show the trend of each hike supercycle rather than an exhaustive series of starts and stops. Because during many of the rate hike cycles over the years, the FOMC cut rates periodically when financial conditions got too tight, but continued on its course of raising rates. With all that said, the results of my study will probably shock you because they shatter several widely held stock market myths. So let's dig in. There have been 9 rate hike supercycles since the Great Depression. And while there is definitely stock market weakness in the first 3 months of the start of a new rate hike cycle, more than 60% of the time, the stock market is up after a year. And the median one-year return of the S&P 500 is 10% after the first rate hike, which is better than the typical annual gain. In fact, the S&P is only down double digits in 2 of the 9 cycles, 1987 and 1973. Things look even more bullish over the last 25 years. Since 1994, the S&P was up after 12 months in 3 of the 4 hike cycles. But what about inflation, you ask? Well, the closest hike cycle to the one we're in now is the cycle from 1977 to 1981. That was a similar period of stagflation, which is the brutal combination of a stagnating economy and high inflation. Year-over-year CPI was like it is today, around 7% at the start of the cycle, and peaked around 15% in 1981. But guess what? Stocks survived. After an initial 10% drop, the S&P was up 8% 1 year out from the first hike in 1977. And the index gained 35% during this cycle, even as Fed interest rates soared to eye-watering highs. In other words, since 1930, not only do stocks gain nicely during rate hike cycles, they gain during periods of high inflation too. So here's the bottom line. Now that we're into a new rate hike cycle, instead of selling your shares, you should buy the dip over the next few months. Thanks so much for watching today's video. As always, if you dig the content, please hit the like button and subscribe to the Rich Retirement Letter channel here on YouTube so you never miss out on my videos. And if you've got a topic you'd like me to cover in a new video, leave me a comment below this video or shoot me an email at askjrod@stpaulresearch.com. Thanks again, and for Rich Retirement TV, I'm J-Rod, and I'll see you next time.